Well, Lyft is giving job seekers a ride for free. The ride-sharing company is partnering with organizations like Goodwill, Dream Corps, and Year Up to get low-income individuals to interviews or to a new job. The Jobs Access program is launching in more than 35 cities across the country. Mike Masserman is the head of social impact at Lyft and joins us now. Mike, great to see you. And we all are very fascinated by the move here. A new academic study shows that commuting time is the single strongest factor impacting someone's ability to escape poverty. The Job Access program specifically that you're working on here, is that in an effort to address this problem?
Yeah, well, first off, thanks for having us on. When we saw that recent study, we knew that we could have a real impact here. And it goes back to our mission, improving people's lives with the world's best transportation. That means providing access to affordable and reliable transportation, specifically in some of these use cases where we know we can have a unique impact. And so we were really excited to launch this program yesterday, which provides people rides to job trainings, to job interviews, and to their first few weeks on the job.
So explain to us what kind of the user experience is here. What is the demo that is allowed to use this? What is the experience for these job seekers? And how are you making sure that people who don't necessarily need this for free are not taking advantage of it?
As you mentioned, we're partnering with a diverse array of nonprofits across the country, whether it's Goodwill and United Way, who are focused on low-income individuals, Year Up, who's specifically focused on that 18 to 24-year-old demographic, some of whom this might be their very first job, USO, who works with veterans, or Upwardly Global, who works with immigrants. What we do is we provide ride credits to those organizations. They know their constituency bases, and they're the ones who are allocating those credits to folks. So we aren't just giving credits to the general public. People are actually going to have to work with these nonprofits to be able to get those rides. And that creates a sense of accountability, both for us and for them.
And at the moment here, it's in 35 cities across the country. Do you have plans to expand?
Well, what we're doing is we're going to be testing this program through 2020 with a third-party research provider to understand the impact. And we're very confident that this is going to be a successful program, and we'll hopefully be able to expand it.
So how reliable, or how's reliability kind of a factor here in offering this service like Lyft to get people to their jobs versus having to find other modes like public transportation?
Well, we think it's going to be incredibly reliable. And just as an example, folks were using United Way. They have a 2-on-1 program where people would call for rides. And, those were situations where this third-party provider may or may not show up. And now with Lyft, you're able to track your ride. So these folks now have access to an affordable, reliable mode of transportation, which in many cases they hadn't had before.
And what I love about the new economy that we have here through the advent of cell phone technology and apps is that, you've got new jobs like yours, social impact. Describe a little bit about your job and what your goals are.
Well, I was proud to take over as the head of social impact a few years ago. And really our goal is to continue bringing to life this notion of improving people's lives with the world's best transportation and really focusing on these use cases where transportation can help folks overcome a challenge. So whether it's getting people rides to the polls, where we knew in 2016, 15 million people who were registered to vote didn't vote because of transportation-related reasons, or it's thinking about things like grocery access, where we know over 23 million Americans are living in food deserts, and having access to get to grocery stores can really be a game changer. And so we're focused on these programs around helping people through transportation. And I think this is a really sort of new way of doing social impact. It's utilizing what we call our superpower to have the most unique impact we can have.
Definitely, and I think everyone agrees this is a really amazing service you're providing for those who definitely need it to catch up. Now, a part of this, I imagine, is the social impact that you are also providing to those that you also help to provide for themselves through jobs, through driving with Lyft. This new program here is also coming at a time when the company is facing criticism around just how much drivers should be paid at a minimum level. Specifically, let's say here in LA, set to study maybe a $30 minimum wage. So maybe walk us through what you're trying to balance here in terms of creating a good social impact, not only for those that you're providing through with these services like this Jobs Access program, but also at large with all of your drivers.
Well, I can't comment on the minimum wage bill. What I can tell you is that drivers are front and center of the work of social impact. In fact, in the wakes of hurricanes Harvey and Irma, it was drivers who were the ones that really inspired us to get involved in the community and launch this program whereby we geofenced hospitals and shelters and provided free rides in the wakes of disasters. And we utilized that same method in the wakes of fires in southern Northern California. And just last week, we provided rides to resource centers here in the Bay Area during the blackouts. And so drivers are absolutely critical to our social impact programs, and they are paid for all the rides that they're doing.
So how do you work generally alongside other business teams within Lyft and kind of prioritize your opportunities, your projects on Lyft's overall roadmap, given that maybe the decisions that your team makes might not be the most lucrative from a business standpoint? How do you work alongside other teams at Lyft?
Well, we believe that doing good is good for business. And during the IPO, we said that loud and clear that we are now a public company for the public good. It's why we launched our CityWorks program, which is $50 million or 1% of our profits that are going to initiatives around sustainability and transportation infrastructure and to donated rides. So we really work across the entire company. And again, our mission is improving people's lives with the world's best transportation. And it's really part of the ethos of the company.
Yes. Mike, thank you so much for being on with us today. Mike Masserman is the head of social impact at Lyft. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, and you can catch our weekly show, Cheddar Rides, happens every Wednesday right here on Cheddar Business at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We talk about Lyft, Uber, and everything else that basically moves you.